So here we are going to start with a very basic term called account. What do you mean by the term account? When we say account, it is a head under which we will record the data. Let me repeat, it is a head under which we will record the data. In a very academic sense, an account is always represented by a T format. If you see here, we have a T format where the left side is called as debit side and the right side is called as credit side. So normally every account will carry a name like cash account, purchases account, capital account and so on. And under this we will have a T form where the left side we will call as debit side and the right side we will call as credit side. So suppose somebody says debit an account, it means record the data in the left side of the account. When we say credit an account, it means record the data in the right side of the account. So to quickly check up, there are 5 jargons: account, debit, credit, debiting, crediting. Account is nothing but the name under which we are going to record the data. Debit side is nothing but the left side of the account. Credit side is nothing but the right side of the account. Debiting means recording the data in left side. Crediting means recording the data in the right side. If you ask me how many accounts are there in this world, there is no limit. It's unlimited, infinite. But what our ancestors have done is to make our understanding easier or to develop these rules very clearly, they have classified accounts in various types or forms. So traditional classification of accounts says there are 3 categories of accounts: real, nominal, personal. Let us see the meaning of this individually now. What do you mean by real accounts? Accounts representing all real things in life which we can really see, feel, touch, etc. Let me give you some examples. Can you really see, feel and touch furniture? So it is a real account. Can you really see, feel and touch cash? So cash account is a real account. Can you really see, feel and touch a building or land, machinery? All these are examples of real accounts. Then what is nominal accounts? All accounts representing expenses, losses, incomes and gains. Conveyance, it is an expense, so it comes under nominal account. Traveling expenses, advertisement expenses. Then we have salaries expense. All these are examples of nominal accounts. Similarly, rent received, commission received. These are all incomes. They are all examples of nominal accounts. To repeat, 4 items will come under nominal accounts: expenses, losses, incomes, gains. Then comes personal accounts. Accounts representing persons, maybe natural persons like you and me, or artificial persons like businesses. All businesses in the eyes of law is considered as artificial person. They can't breathe, but otherwise they are considered as persons. So all our suppliers are personal accounts. All our customers are personal accounts. And our own bank account, which represents us, is a personal account. These are all best examples possible. So if you want to bring in technical jargons, all debtors are personal accounts, all creditors are personal accounts, bank accounts are personal accounts. Why we say bank account as personal? Because any bank account actually represents an individual or a business. So obviously, it is personal in nature. Alternatively, we have a modern classification of accounts also. If you remember, real, nominal and personal are traditional classification. The modern books classify accounts in this way: assets, liabilities, owner's equity, revenues and expenses. So let us understand these jargons now one by one. What are assets? What the business owns. What are liabilities? What the business owes to outsiders. What do you mean by owner's equity? What the business owes to its owners. What do you mean by revenues? An increase in assets resulting from selling of goods or providing services. If you feel this meaning to be a bit hard, very simple: income. Income that you generate by selling goods or by providing services is called revenue. Then what do you mean by expenses? A decrease in assets resulting from selling of goods or providing services. The amount that you spend for the sake of selling goods or providing services we call as expenses. Now if you get a question, should I follow traditional or should I follow modern? It's up to you. Whichever you feel comfortable, convenient, you can follow. Because ultimately the accounting is going to be same. The way you are going to approach it may be different. If you are comfortable with traditional classification, follow them. If you are comfortable with modern classification, follow that. As we are into basics now, let me clarify certain points one by one. To start with, whenever we say owner's account, we know owner is a personal account. It can take three forms or it can take three shapes. It can be capital, it can be drawings, it can be dividends. The same owner's account will be called as capital account or drawings account or dividends account depending upon the requirement. We will see that one by one now. Whenever owner invests money in the business, the owner's account will be called as capital account. Let me repeat. Whenever owner invests money in the business, owner's account will be called as capital account. Next, whenever owner draws money from the business, owner's account will be called as drawings account. Let me repeat. Whenever owner draws money from the business, owner's account will be called as drawings account. Whenever owner takes share in the profits, owner's account will be called as dividends account. To repeat, whenever owner takes share in the profits, owner's account will be called as dividends account. So let me repeat. We never write the word owner's account in accounting. It either takes the shape of capital or drawings or dividends. To quickly sum up, whenever owner gives money to business, it is called capital. Whenever he draws money from business, it is called drawings. And whenever he takes share in the profits, it is called dividends. Never ever use the word owner account. Make it more specific. Is it capital account or drawings account or dividends account? Similarly, we have one more account called goods account. which takes either the shape of purchases or sales or purchase returns or sales returns. Meaning, we never use the word goods account in accounting. You have to necessarily call it as either purchases or sales or purchase returns or sales returns. Whenever we buy goods from our suppliers, either for cash or for credit, the same goods account is called as purchases account. And whenever we sell goods to our customers, either for cash or for credit, the same goods account is called as sales account. And whatever goods we purchased earlier, if we return it back to our own suppliers, maybe because of some quality issues or we are not happy with the goods and so on, the same goods account is called purchases returns account. Similarly, if our customers return the goods back to us because they are not happy with the goods, the same goods account will be called as sales returns account. So to quickly repeat, we never use the word goods account in our business accounting. We should either represent it as purchases or sales or purchase returns or sales returns. There is one more important clarification required here. We normally spend money. Whether all the money that we spend are called as expenses, or do we have any separate jargons depending upon the requirement? So let me repeat, all the money spent cannot be called expenses. We have certain specific scenarios and requirements which will redefine them. So let me take up that one by one now. Whenever we spend money to acquire something meant for resale, we call it as goods. Whenever we acquire something meant for usage, we call it as assets. Whenever we acquire something or spend money for consumption, we call it as expense. So let me repeat, all the money spent should not be called as expenses. Assume you buy some materials or you buy some goods which is meant for resale. Then we don't use the word expense here. Instead, we call it as goods. And we have just now learnt it will be more specifically called as purchases. But if you buy something not for resale but for usage, we call the same as assets. But we spend money for consuming the services, we call it as expenses. Salary expense, traveling expense, conveyance expense, it gets consumed immediately. Whereas when you buy machinery, when you buy car, or when you buy a plant, when you buy a building, they are all not meant for consumption. They are all meant for usage over a period of time. We call them as assets. But if you buy some goods not to consume, not for usage, but for resale, we call it as goods. So here you can differentiate one. If any business purchases land or building, normally we call it as assets because it is meant for usage. But if a real estate business purchases land or building, we call it as goods. Why? Because it is not meant for usage. Instead, it is meant for resale. So to conclude, everywhere we spend money, but for what purpose? See, the words given in the brackets will help you to define, is it goods or assets or expenses. Similarly, the jargon drawings also requires some sort of explanation. Drawings is a term used when owner takes back the money from the business. But Is it just taking back money or something more? There are three scenarios where the word drawings is used. One, when owner takes money from the business. Two, when owner takes goods or services from business for personal use. Three, when owner's personal expenses are paid by business. In all the three scenarios, we will use the jargon drawings and we bring in the drawings account. So not necessarily if only he takes money. Even if he takes goods and services, even if his personal expenses are paid by the business, we will use the jargon drawings account. Thank you.